Okay, let's talk about something real. Have you ever felt like you're in a fight, a really, really big one, but you can't see who or what you're actually fighting? You know that feeling? Like there's some kind of invisible weight just holding you back, and no matter how hard you push, you just feel like you're losing ground. Well, it turns out a lot of us, pretty much all of us, are fighting this exact same battle.
Think about that for a second. What if you're losing a war you can't even see? That right there, that gets to the absolute heart of it. Because in the battle for our own minds, the whole fight often feels so unfair for one simple, frustrating reason. The enemy is completely invisible.
And I think we've all been there, right? It's that feeling of just being knocked around by something you can't even identify. You feel the hits, you know you're losing ground, but you have absolutely no idea where to even throw a punch back. It's exhausting.
So this is what we're talking about when we say the unfair battle. It's this mental struggle where you can't see what's really happening inside your own head, and because of that, you're basically a victim before you even get a chance to fight back. Imagine it. You're in a boxing ring, and you're just taking hit after hit, but you can't see a thing. You're losing before the first bell has even properly rung.
And this is where we have to cut through a lot of the usual self-help noise. You know the stuff. We're told that all you need is a brilliant mind and a dose of positive thinking, and boom, success. But that's just not the whole story. The reality is, it's way more complex. You're actually fighting four very specific, invisible barriers that your logic alone just can't overcome.
Okay, so if it's not a lack of brain power or positive vibes, then what is the real enemy here? What are we actually fighting against? What is this invisible opponent even made of?
Well, the answer comes down to one number: 4. There are 4 specific, invisible blocks that are standing between you and your own personal power. You can think of them like 4 hidden soldiers, all fighting against you in this internal, unfair battle.
So what are they? Here they are, the 4 fronts of your internal war. Your thoughts, your vision, your words, and your feelings. Let's dive in and break down each one of these.
First up, we've got your thoughts. Now, we're not just talking about conscious brainstorming here. No, this is about that automatic, background static that's always running in your mind. You know, it's that instant thought you have when your boss emails you late at night that just screams, "Uh-oh, what did I do wrong?" before you've even opened it. That's the first line of attack.
Okay, number 2 is your vision. Think of this as your internal GPS, your blueprint for life. If you don't have a crystal clear picture of where you're headed, you're essentially just fighting in the dark. It's like trying to build some complicated piece of IKEA furniture without the instructions. You just can't hit a target that you can't even see.
Third on the list, your words. The stuff you say to yourself, whether it's out loud or just that little whisper under your breath, has a massive, massive influence on your life. Just think about the huge difference between muttering, "I can't do this," versus saying, "Okay, how can I figure this out?" Your words can be your greatest weapon, or they can be the heaviest anchor you'll ever have to drag.
And finally, the 4th and often the heaviest block of them all, your feelings. These guys are the real powerhouses. They carry the weight of your entire past, every single failure, every disappointment. It's that knot you get in your stomach when you think about a new opportunity, because some part of you, some past failure, is whispering that it's just safer to stay small.
So here's the real problem, the core of it all. When these 4, your thoughts, vision, words, and feelings are out of alignment, they just block your way. It's like an internal civil war. Maybe your vision is to succeed, but your thoughts are constantly telling you you're going to fail. When that happens, they create this massive internal roadblock. You can be doing all the right things on the outside, but if these forces are at war inside you, you're always going to feel stuck.
So, the big question is, how do you win a fight that feels totally rigged? Our first instinct is to try and fix the bad habits, right? To stop procrastinating, to get more organized. But that's just fighting shadows on the wall. You're treating the symptoms, not the cause. And that is not the real solution.
The real key, the game changer, is this. You have to make the invisible visible. It's all about awareness. The single most powerful thing you can do is shine a spotlight on these hidden forces. The battle only becomes fair once you can finally see your opponent, when you can actually identify that negative thought, when you can hear that self-defeating word, and when you can recognize that limiting feeling the moment it shows up. And once you have that awareness, it creates this absolutely profound transformation. You literally shift from being a victim of your own mind, constantly taking hits from an enemy you can't see, to becoming a powerhouse of energy and strength. You become ready to actually direct your own life.
And this is how you start to live with excellence.
And let's be clear, this isn't about being perfect. Nobody's perfect. It's about getting your internal world, your vision, thoughts, words, and feelings to finally line up with your external actions. It's about empowering yourself, for real.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. The very first step is to just start listening. So what's one invisible thought, one little piece of that background static that you caught yourself having today? Just noticing it? That's the first real punch you get to throw back.